Have you ever wondered about the plaques in the churches around Slovenia and what they mean? These are plaques that are dedicated to the victims of the Second World War and the revolution, the Communist Revolution. They're called Farne, plosce, and they're memorials. For years after World War II, these dead, were denied a burial place. They were not allowed to have their names mentioned, and the majority of them died not fighting during the war, but they were brutally murdered, tortured first, and then murdered after the war. And the communists did not allow them to be buried in any cemetery. After 1990 and Slovenia's independence, these plaques, these memorials, began to pop up in churches around Slovenia. And today you see many of them. Our tour went by one of these churches, St. Elizabeth's, and saw the plaque on the wall. The first memorial in this film is the one located in the Helena Jaklitsch cemetery, which is also dedicated to the victims of the Communist Revolution.
Čisto na kratko sem vas želela pripeljati v cerkvi Svete Elizabete. To je župnijska sicer cerkev, ampak kot vidite, imajo tle res zelo lepe farne plošče. Kaj so to farne plošče? Rekla sem, pobili so domobrance, odpeljali, nobeni seznamo ne obstaja, nobeni nikjer, se pravi, da bi se vedelo, koga vse so ubili. To je vse ostalo anonimno, brez imen. In leta 90 se je nekaj ljudi okoli Nove Slovesnke Zaveze, tudi stric Tine Velikonja, so se odločili in po celi Sloveniji, mislim, to je bilo res ogromno delo, začeli spraševati ljudi, da so ljudje sporočali, kateri ljudi, kdo so bili domobranci in za katere vedo, da so bili v času revolucije oziroma pol vrnjeni in pobiti. In potem so ta imena, posamezne župnije, posamezne vasi, posamezni kraj tudi napisali. Tako da, če greste danes po župnijskih cerkvah, kjerkoli po Sloveniji, bom rekla, boste marsikje našli take razfarne plošče. In ta je res ena teh pretresljivejših. Vidite imena, vidite letnice, če ste pozorni, kako mladi so ti fantje bili. To so 20 let stari, 22 let stari, eni tudi malo več. In kot piše na gore, žrtve vojne in revolucije, victims of war and revolution. Tako da vam pustim, da poveste.
So my uncle, Valentin, or Tine Velikonja, was 15 years old at the end of World War II. He didn't fight in the Domobrans. However, he was with the group that we've been following today, the group of refugees that fled north to Vitring. And he was put on the trains and then sent to Teherje, Selje, and was only because of his age that he was not killed along with the rest of the Domobrans. However, he was a witness to many, many crimes. He kept his mouth shut for 40 years. He became a doctor, a surgeon, and he collected stories from Domobrans and their families for 40 years secretly in Slovenia. His trick was to develop clients, patients who lived right next to the former concentration camps and places where he thought everyone was buried. So in 1990, upon independence, he started to create names and put up these plaques, these plosce, around in churches in Slovenia for the people whose names he had. And he paid for much of this himself. He co-founded or founded Nova Slovesnka Zaveza early on as well. And I, for a time also, he put this up in 1994. I probably was here because I was working in Bosnia and Croatia at the International Criminal Tribunal. Whenever I had a few hours off on maybe a Sunday in Zagreb, I would get on the train, come to Ljubljana. Stric Tine would pick me up, and as a break from the war in The Hague, he'd take me straight to the plosce or to Teherje or Hurajama or looking for people. So he was really busy with this throughout his whole life. Because his father was wrongfully executed, he felt he had an obligation and a duty to the people of Slovenia, and he worked on this very hard for the rest of his life, putting up these kinds of plosce, these memories around Slovenia. He started with just the domobrans, but he also then expanded it. He felt that anyone who had died in the territory of Slovenia, be they a domobrans, partisan, Italians or Germans, had a right to be dug up, identified, and have a grave. Okay, thanks.
In vidite pač, da so pa tudi ženska imena, ne samo Frančiška, pa Helena.